Hey guys, Forbidden here, bringing you another audio commentary. As you can tell by the ad banner at the top that Jeff didn't edit out, it's not me playing. This is Jeff. And then he sent me these games. He said that these games highlight um, Vexing Sphinx. So there have been a lot of questions about why we're running Vexing Sphinx. Um, and I don't know. He said these games do a pretty good job at showing that it's a pretty good card. Okay, so Jeff's staring down a Monoscrew, but he has, I think, 2 brainstorms to start, and then he draws into a 3rd brainstorm. Um, so, but he doesn't draw into another land. So the correct play is to daze the Grim Lavamancer because he's not going to miss a land drop anyway. And then it's, you know, I mean, he'd have to either swords it or daze it, and so it's the right call to swords it. Or it's the right call to daze it, sorry. Swords would be a waste. And so, again, there's a brainstorm, but no land. Incidentally, it was the right play to play the 2nd brainstorm with 2 cracks at the land. This next one, he should probably wait until he has 3 cracks at drawing the land, because a Monoscrew is devastating. And then with it being very likely that his opponent would cast the Sylvan Library right now, Jeff's waiting on playing the Mother of Runes. So he could have played the Mother of Runes, or save for the Spell Pierce, and then I agree it's the right play to play the Spell Pierce. This deck could handle like any kind of creature aggro, or this hand could handle any kind of creature aggro plays because it's got like 2 swords, you know, Mother of Runes. But if his opponent casts the Sylvan Library, Jeff will be in deep shit. So this is a pretty tough call. I think in this situation, I actually put back the Jite and the Vexing Sphinx. You know, but I guess Jeff wanted to highlight how Vexing Sphinx is good, so he decides to ditch a Force of Will and the Jite. Obviously, the Jite is not going to get up for a while, so yeah. Interesting. I don't know why Jeff passed there, so the likely play is going to be another land and a Sylvan Library. You can't spell Pierce that anyway, so you might as well get the Mother Runes out. You know, I guess if the other guy hadn't played the 2nd land, or the 4th land, Jeff would have been kicking himself for trying to save a couple Tempi and play out the Mother Runes, but again, you're not really going to be able to stop a Sylvan Library played around a Spell Pierce, so I don't know why Jeff did that. So yeah, that's the correct play. Instantly switching to a beatdown mode. With the Mom and the Grunt. So his opponent has to come up with 2 answers for it, and apparently he doesn't have any type of burn. Which is obviously really nice. I mean, if I were the Zoo player, I would have waited for my Sylvan Library to go off before I tried, before I pathed the Mother Runes. You know, see if I got a burn spell, and then I didn't just give the Blue-Eye Temple player an extra basic land. And obviously, if you have like a burn spell and a path, and then you path the Mom, and then you can't burn the Grunt. So it seems a lot better to wait, at least for the draw step, to see if any of the top 3 spells were a burn spell. I mean, I know they don't run that much burn, like 8 maybe. Some even less, like 7. But I still think that really would have been worth it. And as you can see, the burn player is not really using his land very well. Or I call him the burn player, but the Zoo player, he's really not using his land very well. And then if you watch the plays, Jeff's tapped out like every single turn. So he's getting a pretty high mana efficiency. And noting that the Zoo player is flooded, he chooses to waste the Horizon Canopy. Um, Obviously a good thing. Yeah, so the player did actually draw a burn spell. So the guy actually drew a lightning bolt. It would have been so much better if he had a bolt for the mom, and then a path for the grunt, and then um, Jeff wouldn't have been able to play that ridiculous play because he would have been at one land short. Even if the zoo player has to path later, Jeff would have been still a land short. And also, it's been 2 turns where the Sylvan Library player completely passed on using the Sylvan Library. So, I mean, perhaps the guy has terrible, terrible cards, but, just bite the bullet, like, draw through the cards. You're not going to win a game playing a Miri's Guile. You paid the extra mana, and you played it around a Spell Pierce for a reason. Sylvan Library is a very strong card, but you have to use it. And I think that this is just a case of, like, the zoo player doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, I don't know. Jeff's been playing really well, though. Hey, look at Vexing Sphinx. It's doing something. Oh, pitches a Spell Pierce. Yay. I mean, so you can see that Jeff's got a Fathom Seer out, so Vexing Sphinx can live just off the dead land. So that makes Vexing Sphinx extremely strong, because, well, especially with that crap top deck. So Jeff drew absolute crap, but it's still Sphinx Boot. So he was able to play out a land, and then, later on he's going to pitch, like, the Heath and the Vial or something. But you can see Jeff's, like, tapped out, like, every single turn, and then if you play Blue-White Tempo and then you maximize your mana, you can get some pretty nutty plays going on. Especially if your opponent is, like, playing at a sloth's pace. Not that he's playing slowly, but he's not using his library. He's not maximizing his mana at all. I think he passed like a turn or two where he was clearly mana flooded, where he chose not to sack his Horizon Canopy, and then now he sacks it. I guess his hand was really that horrible, or I guess his top deck was really that horrible. But like, I would have still just paid to draw through the land, and then, I mean, I'm assuming the top 2 cards were land. I still would have paid the 8 life, draw through the land, and try to get a faster hand going. Like, against Blue-White Tempo, you can see the clock already is like 10 power on board, and so if you pay 8 life, but it speeds up your deck by a turn, then it's something you should do. And so I think the zoo player waited a turn too long to activate the Sylvan Library, and now he's not really going to get a chance because the max he's going to start out next turn is like 6 life. I mean, I think this game's over. Jeff not forgetting the Vexing Sphinx trigger, yay. Although if you do forget, you draw the cards anyway, so it's not as bad as forgetting a grunt trigger. But yeah, I mean, if I were to characterize the zoo player, I would call him ballless. Someone without balls. Definitely a mistake. He should have G-equipped the Jotun Grunt. The only possible answer his opponent could have to that would be Path. Anyway, so Seer gets bolted. Force of Will is the obvious play at this point, but I think he should have equipped the Jotun Grunt. The Jotun Grunt has an extra toughness, and if you pass the Jotun Grunt, then that means you're guaranteed to draw the 3 cards from the Vexing Sphinx. Obviously, you don't G-equip the Vexing Sphinx because if he has the Path to Exile, well, he had the Force of Will anyway, but potentially his opponent could have double bold on the Seer, and then Jeff would have wished he had it on the Jotun Grunt. I also think he should have swung with the other Fathoms here. It's likely to cash in for 1 damage. At worst, it would get double blocked by Grim and Figure, and then he'd be in the exact same position. Actually, no matter what, the Seer would have gone through for 1 damage. So it was swung with the Fathoms here. I mean, this game's pretty much wrapped up. I think that Jeff was kind of taking a mind break. Because normally he doesn't make mistakes with it. Anyway, GG. See you in the next game. Don't think that game was that great, though.